use your gifts and interests to serve God?
I think.
Sorry.
Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Personally, I think I'm a pretty outgoing person. So like if I see someone sitting alone, I'll want to go make a new friend and like go up to them, be like, introduce myself. And then I think that could be a good thing for if there's a new kid at youth group and they just seem kind of shy, I'm really the opposite of shy. So we can just I don't know, just meet new friends.
Yeah, mine is similar to yours. I'm very I'm not super outgoing to people that I first meet, but if I see someone by themselves, I'll go up to them. And on a couple of occasions, I've invited friends that aren't believers to church, and then they end up going to small group. And they have fun because small groups, not typical small group, is actually enjoyable. So I'll invite people, and then I feel I don't know, I'm very talkative and very opinionated about many topics, so I feel I could use my social media to post things and etc.
I would say I'm pretty good at making conversation. If pretty much if I see somebody, I can automatically think of something to talk about. I'm not necessarily super outgoing, but I'm not super introverted where I'm gonna see somebody and just sit this whole time. I'm gonna be oh hey, how are you? How was school? How was your week? So things like that, I guess for me.
Yeah, also piggyback off of yours, I'm an introvert, extrovert. It really just depends on the day and my mood. But there are times when us especially new people at church, I'll make sure they feel welcome so they want to come back and knowing they have someone to hang out with if they do come back. So
Good first impressions.
yeah.
And it's good too, especially going to church, you can have that kind of foundation and you guys can talk about similarities and then build a relationship off of that.
I feel it's so much easier to make friends at church now.
Yeah, for sure.
I think when I got older, I just became more outgoing. I can go up to someone now, and at school too, but only if they're by themselves. I don't like going up to a group of people.
Yeah. Describe a God-honoring woman in your life that you look up to.
I would say there's a group of ladies. It's my mom's friends, but I've grown up with them and their kids, and I know I can always count on them. And knowing that if I have questions or anything and just too scared to ask my parents, they'd be there for me. So
I think for me, it's my youth group leaders. We've gotten super close this year, and she's younger, and so I feel we're able to connect more and share. But I've learned how to trust God in any circumstance, and that I can just really lean on the community around me and rely on those godly women in my life. If I need advice, if I need to talk to someone. But she's just been a great influence on me this year.
Yeah, I'd probably say my small group leader too. She's been through a lot, and she always shares about them. And you're just if I went through that, I don't know how I would I don't know what I would do. So she's also very God is the best foundation you can have in your life. So I feel that just helps to hear that from her.
That reminder.
I started junior high small group in 6th grade, and then I had the same small group leaders, and they were just so loving and welcoming. And I felt that group of girls, it was just we all clicked, and I feel they were so just caring. You could tell that they actually were listening to what you were saying and actually cared.
Personally, I would say probably my grandma, because throughout the day she checks on me and we just have little word feud games on my phone, and it's just so sweet. She's just so thoughtful, and she always prays for us whenever we see her before we eat meals together, and she always brings her Bible on trips, and she's just really inspiring, and she's always there for me, so I want to be like her when I'm older.
Okay, so what is one thing you wish guys knew that girls struggle with? It's so hard. Oh my gosh.
I feel I wish they knew that it is different to be a girl. I think that not all, but some guys are well, that's not really true. That doesn't really happen,
How would you know?
Exactly, because I feel if you don't actually walk in our shoes, and we don't know what it's like to be a guy either.
Yeah.
But I feel they think if we say something that's happened to us, they don't believe it at first, or they think we're exaggerating.
Yeah.
And I feel we can be misunderstood by some people.
I think the biggest thing that I would try to push on guys to understand is like how much girls, especially like teen girls, struggle with self-worth and just like looking in the mirror and like not being like satisfied, not being happy. I think guys, it's like, you know, you throw on a t-shirt, you throw on a hat, you're good to go.
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
like girls, like we spend so much time like getting ready and like what do you think about this, and like looking around us, and like I think we just see the world and we see ourselves very differently than guys do. They don't struggle with that same self-worth
And
that
some
same,
do.
Yeah.
Of course.
I think that goes back to like the social media thing. I think guys don't understand, like, for a girl, social media feels like, oh, I need this many followers, or oh, like I need to look my best in the picture I post, or like things like that. Like obviously some guys post like pictures of, like whatever, but like I feel like for girls it's a bigger deal, I guess, just because like oh, our hair needs to be perfect. That's why we take like 100 and something photos before we like actually post. Like that's why our camera rolls are full of pictures of like us, because like we're trying to find like the perfect picture to post. But yeah.
I feel like society's often trying to fit us into like this mold and have our specific standards, like you said. And a lot of times girls feel like peer pressure to like fit in with that. And then I think we also overthink everything because we don't want to be like try too hard or try too little. And then there's just like no common ground and there's nothing we can really base off of. But we just need to remember like we can find our validation in God's word and not in the world and what people think about us.
There's more, but like, there's more, but like none of them will make sense.
I feel like there's no specific guideline to being a girl,
Yeah.
you know? So like we have nothing to go off, you know? So we don't know, like we all think our different ways and we have our different styles, and I feel like some of them are accepted and some of them aren't. If you're not like that, then
kind of going off what you said with the guidelines, I feel like we could use, you know, like Esther and Mary and Sarah, like as, I mean, of course it's different, like that was 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And like it's not, they didn't have social media and they didn't have, you know, the same clothes that we wear, but we could still use those as role models and kind of as a guideline in our everyday lives as we like think and talk and as we act around other people in the world.
We can still like apply what they did
Yeah, exactly.
to our lives.
women aren't as represented, like even in the Bible. And obviously that was a long time ago, but compared to how many men there are in the Bible.
Kind of going off of that, like I feel we could definitely use more representation, but that's what we need to do. Like we need to initiate that and be bold and like step out in our faith. We're all uniquely, wonderfully, beautifully, fearfully made, and we just need to like find that in ourselves to kind of take that first step and say like, I'm gonna step out for the people that are too afraid to do so.